In 10 minutes, Terry Wogan paces the plush carpets of the Carrington mansion with the stars of Dynasty. First on BBC One, the news with Moira.
Clashes between black South African tribes near Durban. More than 50 people are dead. Mount Etna erupts. A hotel collapses. And the Queen praises Britain's unsung heroes. 53 black South Africans have been killed and at least 9 injured in one of the worst outbreaks of intertribal fighting in recent years. It began last night in a black township near Durban, and fighting has carried on through most of Christmas Day.
Police say some 3,000 members of the Pondo tribe clashed with about 2,000 Zulus, South Africa's largest black tribe. The causes aren't clear, but recent confrontations have been over dwelling and water rights. Christmas is always a sensitive time in the tribal areas because the population is swollen by the thousands of migrant workers home from the major cities. The security forces say they're still in the area, which they describe as being tense. 4 months ago, the Durban area saw widespread violence following the funeral of an anti-apartheid activist. Rival black political groupings attacked each other, and large numbers of Indians were killed or driven from their premises as shops were looted and burned.
In Cape Town, Winnie Mandela, wife of the jailed African National Congress leader Nelson Mandela, has visited him in Pollsmoor prison. She took her daughter and 3 grandchildren and a message of support from the multiracial anti-apartheid United Democratic Front. Mrs. Mandela said Christmas was now a day of mourning, not rejoicing in South Africa. She complained that her husband was being kept in solitary confinement by the government for no reason.
He is now held in solitary confinement under the pretext that he is in the prison hospital. There is no justification at all for him being held in the prison hospital without access to his colleagues.
An unexpected eruption by Mount Etna has killed 1 man and injured a dozen other people. The casualties had been staying in a hotel in Sicily, which was brought down by tremors following the eruption. Experts say there's little immediate danger to villages near Mount Etna, but the trail of lava is several miles long. This report from David Willey.
A 34-year-old Italian tourist died and 14 people altogether were injured when a newly built hotel on the upper slopes of Mount Etna collapsed like a pack of cards when the foundations of the building were undermined. There was some panic in villages on the slopes of the volcano, the only active volcano in Europe, when a series of earth tremors shook the area shortly before dawn. A stream of molten lava began to flow from a crater towards an uninhabited mountain valley. The glow lit up the sky for miles around, and later volcanic dust rained down. The lava split into 3 separate streams, and its advance was being monitored in a special emergency operations center set up in the nearby city of Catania.
The Queen, in her Christmas message to the Commonwealth, has paid tribute to the unsung heroes who spend their lives helping others. She said that despite what she called the frightening headlines, there were still some wonderful things going on.
Christmas is a time of good news. I believe it is a time to look at the good things of life and to remember that there are a great many people trying to make the world a better place, even though their efforts may go unrecognized. There's a lesson in this for us all, and we should never forget our obligation to make our own individual contributions, however small, towards the sum of human goodness.
The Queen and other members of the royal family attended morning service at St George's Chapel in the grounds of Windsor Castle. The royal party included the Queen Mother and the Prince and Princess of Wales. The church was packed, and despite the rain, a crowd gathered outside to cheer as the royal family left after the service. The Archbishop of York, Dr. John Habgood, has been speaking about despair in the inner cities. He told the congregation at York Minster that the message of Christmas was that there's always the possibility of change and hope for the future. More than 50,000 people gathered in St. Peter's Square in Rome to hear the Pope give his annual message to the world. He urged Roman Catholics to build a society based on sobriety, justice and godliness, and he greeted the world's Christians in 51 different languages.
A blessed Christmas in the peace of Jesus Christ, the Saviour of the world.
Armed police are surrounding a flat in West London where a man has been holding a child at knife point for nearly 12 hours. A woman who staggered out of the flat suffering from stab wounds has died from her injuries.
The murder and subsequent drama arose from a domestic dispute. Police said a man pushed into the flat demanding to see this woman named Marlene, whom he calls his wife. During an argument, another woman called Jackie, who occupied the flat, was fatally stabbed. Armed with a kitchen knife, the man, known as Errol, took a hostage. She's Marlene's 4-year-old daughter. Another child was earlier snatched to safety through a window by police. While Marlene tried to talk Errol into releasing her daughter, a struggle took place. At one stage, the man threatened police with his knife. A psychiatrist is advising on negotiations. And though marksmen are standing by, police are using softly tactics in the hope of avoiding further bloodshed.
The RSPCA is launching a fresh attack against fox hunting. In line with its new style, this latest campaign states the Society's opposition in a more outspoken way than ever before.
The RSPCA has launched its new call for abolition at Christmas time because of its seasonal association with fox hunting. The thousands of special leaflets going out now are meant to dispel once and for all any doubts about RSPCA opposition to the sport. The Society frankly admits that in the past its policy on fox hunting was open to confusion. That, it says, was largely because pro-hunting members successfully argued that fox hunting was an effective form of pest control.
They can be pursued for very, very long distances, and with a pack of hounds after them, they are clearly in a state of terror. The kill itself may be relatively quick, but it's still unacceptable in 1985 to pursue an animal over fields like this just for fun. That's all it's done for. It's nothing to do with control.
Now, the RSPCA say that increasingly, scientific research has shown that fox hunting is not an effective method of pest control, nor is the fox the menace to household animals it was often thought to be.
Once again this Christmas, some people have been spending the season in less conventional surroundings. One man reached his 17th day of queuing outside a London department store, hoping to beat the world record. Kevin Mellish received some traditional fare from the Mayor of Greenwich to help the day along. To beat the queuing record, Mr. Mellish has to wait until Friday, the first day of the sale. But he's not just after bargains. He aims as well to raise thousands of pounds for a charity which helps young people. The annual swimming race in the Serpentine at London's Hyde Park has gone ahead in comparatively mild weather. It was the 121st time that swimmers had gathered for the festive plunge. This year, more than 50 people took part in the 100-yard race. And finally, one group of British relief workers in Sudan had a chance to say Happy Christmas to their families back home on today's BBC Late Late Breakfast show. They were linked live from the Safawa camp by satellite, the first time it's been done from Sudan. And that's the news this Christmas night, with best wishes from all of us in the newsroom.